You guys? What the hell was that? As Roger Ebert once said, this movie's heart is in the right place. I have trouble locating its brain. Hi, everyone. Wow. It's me, Grant, the movie and TV guy. Welcome to Raised on Popcorn with Grant. And today we're talking about one of the weirdest family films I've ever seen. And you wouldn't think it. So, anyway, we're going to talk about a movie. Movies and TVs that we do here. And that movie is The Wolf and the Lion. The Wolf and the Lion, which is directed by, I am going to butcher this name, Giles de Maistre? I hope I didn't mispronounce your name. It's a French-Canadian film, which I did not realize, in English. So, in lieu of our usual synopsis, I'm just gonna spoil this movie. This is a full spoiler talk. I'm just gonna go right into it. I'll do it. I'll be professional. Okay, The Wolf and the Lion is, centers on a young woman named Alma, who's insane. The batshit lock her up forever in a loony bin insane. What the fuck? Alma is a young woman, whom I don't recognize. The actress is not good. She goes to live with her godfather, played by Greene, who I do recognize and is a fine character actor who is really slumming it here. After her grandfather's death, he lives out somewhere in the Canadian wilderness in this nice little hut and has bonded with the local wildlife. Alma soon meets a white wolf, and who eventually adopts suddenly a little baby wolf pup. And then also, wouldn't you know it, a plane crash occurs not far outside of where her grandpa's home is, and it's en route to a circus. The plane crash leaves but one survivor, a baby little lion cub, and he's exploring, trying to outrun some people. Wouldn't you know it, he lands literally into the arms of Alma, and the second she gets him back home to the house, he bonds a little wolf cub, and she endeavors, I'm gonna keep these guys, keeping it from her godfather. And she names them Mozart and Dreamer. And they soon become her friends, and she soon needs to take care of some people who want to take him different places, which are spoilers, so we'll get into that after the description. Needless to say, things are going to get hairy. Okay, first I'm going to say, I fucking love this movie. For all the wrong reasons. King's Daughter, you've been dethroned as the best bad movie of 2022 already. I'm not kidding. This is this year's True to the Game 3. Proof of the term, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. This movie is one of the most misguided, surreal children's animal movies. Like, imagine if Homeward Bound were remade by a mental patient. That's basically this movie. Or, like, Free Willy. This movie, holy shit! Holy shit! I love this movie! Okay, I'm gonna spoil the fuck out of this. I'm letting you know right now, this is a spoiler review, and it's gonna be probably a little longer than I gotta talk about this movie. People need to see this movie. So, this is the inverse of Belle, where Belle is a great movie that people should see. This is a bad movie everyone should see. So, here's the thing. This is a movie that says, I don't know where to start. Let's put it this way. There are two antagonists that eventually soften and become good by the end of the movie. One of them, it makes sense as an antagonist. It's a guy who is this abusive circus owner. Who's has a bad relationship with his son. We'll get to the son, too. the guy... Now, he belongs in a movie like this as a bad guy. He makes total sense. What doesn't make sense is that one of the antagonists is not really as villainous, but is an antagonist that kind of eventually sort of becomes the lead character's love interest, is this dude who I swear to God looks like a younger, worse acted Gael Garcia Bernal. Like, he looks just like Gael Garcia Bernal. He meets this lead girl, and she's giving him, like, the business for being sane. Basically what he tells her is, we need the white wolf not to experiment on them, not to hurt the white wolf, to put it back in the wild, where it belongs, like, with other, it necessarily would be, its natural habitat. She's like, oh, you're not gonna take my wolf away, and we're supposed to see her as the hero. It's like, no, and him as an asshole. I'm like, no, wrong. This is a movie where the lead girl in this character Alma, is certifiable. Like, straight up certifiable. And it seems like the director kind of knows it, because there's multiple scenes where the character's like, man, she's a nutcase. Oh, she's crazy. But then they do that Drop Dead Fred thing where it's like, yeah, she's crazy, but in the most magical, wonderful, la-di-da, cutie way. No! She's insane! This is... Okay. There is actually one moment where Graham Greene, who again is the godfather, like her, like family friend, who is... Some of his scenes are a little weird with her, calls her sweetheart, no, princess. Like, my godmom calls me sweetheart. That kind of makes sense. She's like a second mom to me. I don't call her princess, that's weird. Is it a Canadian? I don't get it. She asks him, you think I'm insane, don't you? And I literally, out loud, was so tempted to go, yes. Yes, you are, young lady. And he goes, no, I think you're wonderful. I'm like, oh. She says, I gotta go get my cup. And then it cuts to him and he's rolling his eyes going, dirt, 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 dirt. What the fuck? What is this movie? Okay, there's another scene. This movie is totally all over the place. There are scenes that are horrific and disturbing that are done with like Nickelodeon sitcoms. I'm not kidding. With that dirt to dirt to dirt shenanigans music. Like, there's a scene where, and the character is so misguided because she wants to domesticate these animals. These are not dogs and cats, people. These are lions and wolves. They do not belong in a residence, in an area where they can attack innocent people. If you think that that's a good idea, you are as insane as this character. And clearly the audience was, because they were crying and laughing on cue and gasping in all the right parts and rooting for this character. Look, this movie's awful. There's a scene where, she is speaking with, she promises Graham Greene, because Graham Greene kind of has a brain in between his ears, and is telling her, look, if you're going to do this, if you're going to insist on doing this, you have to at least radio me. You have to use your walkie-talkie, and you need to let me know everything's okay. There's a scene where this mother and this daughter are canoeing, like right outside like the wooded area. Little girl says to the mom, very poorly actedly, Mother, I want to go pick the flowers. Mother goes, oh, baby, right now is not a good idea. But Mommy, I want to go pick some flowers. Okay, just be very quick. It's kind of dangerous around these parts. The wolf sees the little girl and starts running at her, like it's going to hurt, like in a tense way. She goes, oh, Mozart, no! And she trips and is knocked unconscious and is lying there for hours. And then eventually Graham Greene is just like, oh, I guess I should call her and see, like, oh, where the hell is that girl? And it's like trying to call her, and they're going like, she's concussed! Go save her! What the fuck? This movie. There's another scene where it's too much to talk about. There's another scene where they're trying to find out about where subplots will just happen. like that are like out of nowhere, like, but aren't even. I'm not talking about setups. I'm like as if we already know them. Like is this a sequel to another? What's going on? Where like there's like a park ranger type character, and Graham Greene calls her after this whole walkie-talkie debacle, and she goes, "Go to hell!" Like literally. Also, there's a lot of cursing in this movie, surprisingly for a kids movie. Like a lot of goddams and shits in this movie, especially by Graham Greene. Like he actually acts kind of inebriated through this whole movie because he's too good for it. But he's talking, and goes, "Hey, we need your help," and he goes, "Go to hell!" It's like, "You never called me back," and he goes, "I was getting to it." I'm like, "There's a jilted love split? What is this? What is going on?" And then later she's like, "Ugh, yeah, leave it to you to commit to anything. Who are you, lady?" And then at the end of the movie, so then we get to the little kid, who bless this little kid's little heart. He talks out of the side of his mouth. This whole acting is, "Oh gee, no, buddy, I get a little scared too. I listen to classical music." It's like, I look like an asshole, I know, but this is so funny. And they kidnap him! Like, they kidnap the little boy! The girl does! There's a moment, and then they get to, like, this standoff with the dad, and it's almost like he says, like, "She's my mommy now." Like, and then he wins over, like, "I need that line," and he goes, like, "You're a disappointment. Mom was right about you. I'm sorry, son." What? What is this movie? Then, literally, he goes, "I know where your line is," and she's like, "Well, come on, sweetie, get in the car." I'm like, "No! You're abducting that child! What are you... What's going on?" So then at the end, she makes nice with environmentalist guy. Still won't give the thing back, but he's like, "I'm sorry. They belong with you." Fuck that shit! They go, but then by that point, a SWAT team is coming looking for these animals, right? But it's not that simply that it's a SWAT team isn't silly enough. So they also introduce the subplot of this, like, clubhouse that she has in the forest that is never established. That I remember anyway, but I don't think it ever is. Doesn't seem to be important if it is. It's like, finds the wolf who's slightly kind of wounded, hiding out. He goes, "Oh, you hid in the wood." And they hide into, like, this trap door, right? Whatever. Hiding from the SWAT team, right? SWAT team, the way it's staged, and the way the music goes, and the way that's acted by the actors playing SWAT team, is like a low-budget ripoff of Zero Dark 30. Like, they're going around this, like, child's clubhouse like it's where Bin Laden is. It's like, this is so stupid. And then, like, it's like Tag the Movie, not Tag the Movie. That's actually really good, with Jake Johnson. It's underrated movie. No, but it's like, you know when you played tag as a kid, and you, let's say, a tree, and you're like, "This is the safe zone." That's kind of this movie's logic. You know what? We'll be back. Let's just stop this one part right here, and we'll be right back. We'll finish this up. Promise. Almost done. Bye. And we're back. Hi, everyone. So, as I was saying, the tree in tag, right? So, SWAT team is chasing them. The girl and the guy, and the lion decides to go, and it's kind of implied they shoot the lion, which is like, they're not going to do that. And they don't. She and the wolf are swimming. They're surrounding them, like, rah, 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 gunfire in the air. They get to the house, and then not only the gunfire stops and the lion comes back, they just cut to the happy ending with no resolution to the climax. I'm like, wait a minute, what happened? They were just in active pursuit of this thing. It's like, oh, she went to the house. The reason I bring up the safe zone is like, are they doing it like in tag rules? Where they're like, "Oh, she's in the safe area. She's at the house is you can't tag her there." What? This movie. And then, to put the cherry on top of this bullshit ice cream sundae, there's a sanctimonious-ass speech at the end where she's standing in front of all these very grateful... She's turned her home to a habitat and I guess has started, boinking... Not the kids movie, sorry. But kind of is like living with smarty pants, bad actor Gael Garcia Bernal guy. Beginning a relationship. And she is talking about this whole speech where every single extra is looking up going, probably like, yep, that's our girl. Including the little boy and his dad. And she's talking about how, I know that this is probably not the right thing to do to some of you. But we have taken these animals out of their natural resources into circuses. And then when we free them, we've destroyed the environment and taken away their natural resources. So as much as I want them to run free, they belong with me. And we'll all live happily ever after. Thank you so much for letting us be all one big happy furry family. I'm just sitting there like, if you don't hear from the boyfriend for a couple days, call the cops, because he might have gotten Carol Baskin. This movie is awful. It is hilariously awful. And that's how the movie ends. This movie, I love this movie. It is so inept in every way. There are scenes, I love animals. I'm a massive animal lover. And one thing I look at this movie is the animals are wonderful. The animal actors, the wolf and the lion cub, and are beautiful creatures, adorable, and the best actors by far in the movie. There could be a great movie with these characters of Mozart and Dreamer, but this is not that. It's a true story, I guess. It's not that movie. This is not that movie. Because everyone looks insane, and it's so inept. Oh, and then the other shenanigan thing, before I go. Sorry, I promise this is almost done. I know I've been kind of going on too long, but I gotta say this. Another scene where it's like, you remember on The Soup, the TV show The Soup, they used to have blank, whatever person's name, unlikely voice of reason, where they'd have a character that's usually like the butt of a joke, but they would say something actually kind of wise, like Stephanie Pratt from The Hills, Stephanie Pratt, unlikely voice of reason. Graham Greene has a moment like that in this movie, that they play off like a sitcom moment. I'm like, this is a horror film. So, they do the transitioning of time, right? They're little babies when we last see them. He goes to visit her. They are, like, people-eating size animals in this one. They're huge. They are fully grown. And they're standing on the thing, and he goes over to the door, and he goes, oh, Jesus Christ! And she's like, what? And he's like, they're gonna rip me limb from limb. And then, and she goes, Seinfeld music. And then she goes, oh yeah, you should have seen what they did with that slab of steak I gave them earlier. It was like something out of a horror movie. And they cut to his look of just horror, and I'm just like, this is not sitcom-y. This is really scary. He's right. Run! Get these animals out of your house. What is this movie? And then finally, the last point I'll make is, some edits within this movie are weird. Not the movie is, like, edit as in final edit. I'm talking, like, the editing choices. Where it'll fade out and fade back in really rapidly. There'll be, like, a lot of quick pans and a lot of quick time-lapse. Like, they're too quick. They're, like, MTV levels. Not, like, Aronofsky, like, MTV. I'm sitting there watching and I'm like, why does this title look so familiar? And then it hit me, like, 30 minutes to the end of the movie. Where they did that kind of fade in and fade out thing. I'm like, this is trailer editing! Someone who edits trailer edited this movie! Because, man, I really love this movie. And, yeah, that's it. Probably more things I could bring up, but this movie is just gloriously, delightfully mad. I love this movie. Wolf and the Lion gets one enthusiastic star just for entertainment value, but man, if you do take your kids to this, and there were a lot of kids at my screening, have a talk with them afterwards about the message and tell them, like, look, Junior, you can't keep these levels of wild. These are not domesticated animals. You cannot keep them in your home. Wow, this movie. 1 star for The Wolf and the Lion. That's it. That's it for the main review. Let's go through these trailer trash and shawarma real quick, and then we'll go. I promise. I won't keep you any longer. But yeah, I still recommend it, though. Go see it, even though I gave... Okay, for sure. Tyson's Run. Now, speaking of... You ever see a trailer, and you're like, wow, this is going to be really offensive? And bad, too? Tyson's Run is that trailer. It has, like, Amy Smart in it. I'm like, Amy Smart, you're on Stargirl. Like, you don't need to slum it like this anymore. You're in something good now. So what I felt about watching Luke Wilson in 12 Mighty Orphans. It's like, come on, Luke, you don't need to do this. that looks really... And it's like, how do you know the kid is on the spectrum? Oh, well, he doesn't talk like a normal person. Which is, of course... And I'm telling you something. I have an intimate understanding of people on the spectrum. I'm not going to go into why. The reason I didn't review music is because I didn't want to watch music because it was offensive. This looks kind of similar. Where she is... I'm saying this out of respect to people in the autistic spectrum community. Movies like this, they need to do better. They need it. There's a show on Amazon called As We See It, which is actually not bad. I actually like that. It has some flaws, but it's good. But man, this ain't it. There's a part where he goes, I don't understand our son, Amy Smart. And she goes, because he's not like other boys. I'm just like, oh my. The only good thing about this trailer is it was only like 45 seconds long. This looks terrible. And then the way you know the kid is on the spectrum is he goes, Father, can I please have some more corn? Literally, that's how he said. Wow. That movie looks... I don't think anything else could rival Redeeming Love this year on the offensive scale. That might, if I see it. Which, hopefully doesn't give an Edward result. Lightyear, sorry. Probably should have triggered that. I love people on the spectrum, and I think they deserve to be treated with respect. I think they deserve to be treated with respect. And I think they need to make good movies about people on the spectrum, because people just are so uneducated. People who make movies, it's annoying. Good Doctor sucks too, by the way. I'm not going to fall for it. That show sucks. Sorry. Lightyear, talked about it a lot. Getting sick of it. Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore, looks good. Getting kind of sick of it. Sonic the Hedgehog 2, just talked about it. Looks good. Downton Abbey: A New Era, which I guess is coming out in the summer now. Looks good. Dog, looks good. I'm really getting sick of the trailer. I've seen it in a couple weeks. Marry Me, thank God it was slightly a new trailer, but oh my God, it's coming out on Thursday. Stop. And was there shawarma? The last scene runs through all of the credits, and the credits are like a minute long. So yeah, the movie doesn't end until after the credits. Alright, we will see you next time. I'm not going to keep you guys any longer. We will see you next time. Until next time, I'm Grant the Movie and TV Guy. I see it all. Moonfall tomorrow, all that stuff. That'll all be next time, and until next time, I'm Grant the Movie and TV Guy. I see it all, and I'm happy to share it with you. I love you all. I appreciate you all. I love you all. Class dismissed. I love you 1,000. Be kind to one another. If you like this video, give it a like if you want to. Give it a subscribe if you want to. Give it the bell. I don't know what it does, but that's supposed to do. Or so I've been told. If you want to find me elsewhere, reviews, lists, and other fun stuff, you can check me out on letterboxd.com at Raised on Popcorn with Grant. Some of you already have, but even if you haven't, take care of yourself, take care of your mental health, and until we meet again, always remember, we were all raised on popcorn. Make mine with extra butter. Go see The Wolf and the Lion if you want to have a wonderfully bad time. And thank you. Take care. Man, this went long. I'm sorry. I had to talk about it. Bye.